Welcome, gents. True power doesn't demand attention, it simply exists, and people feel it. Most Sigma males don't even realize the effect they have on people. They're not trying to be intimidating, they're not putting on a show, they just carry themselves with a certain quiet strength that others can't help but notice, and sometimes fear. That's the thing about Sigma males. They move differently, speak less, observe more. And because they're not seeking approval or playing social games, their presence hits different. People feel unsettled not because a Sigma male is loud or aggressive, but because he's unreadable, calm, composed, honest to the bone. He doesn't care about popularity or pleasing the crowd. He answers to himself, and that alone sets him apart. In a world where most people are desperate to fit in, a man who's completely at peace standing alone becomes naturally intimidating. But here's the truth. That edge you carry, that intense focus, that refusal to fake anything just to make people comfortable, it's not something to hide, it's something to honor. You don't owe anyone a watered-down version of who you are. You're not cold, you're just clear, you're not distant, you're just done with the noise. This isn't about ego, it's about knowing who you are and refusing to play small to make others feel better. And if that makes people whisper, guess, or keep their distance, let them. Because real strength doesn't chase approval, it just keeps moving forward, quietly shaking the ground beneath it. Let's get into it, gents. Number 1, his eye contact feels like a scan, not a glance. Let's be honest. Most people throw eye contact around like confetti. Quick, casual, a social formality, but when a Sigma male locks eyes with you, it's a whole different story. It doesn't feel like he's just looking at you. It feels like he's studying you. Not in a creepy or judgmental way, but with a kind of silent precision that says, I see more than what you're saying. And that right there is what makes people nervous. It's the kind of eye contact that pauses your thoughts mid-sentence. You forget what you were even saying because suddenly you feel like someone just hit zoom in on your soul. It's not about dominance or power moves. He's not doing it to make you squirm. He's just naturally observant. He watches with intention. And you feel it. He's the type of guy who can sit in a room full of people and make one person feel like they're the only one under a microscope. Not because he's trying to intimidate, but because he genuinely pays attention. In a world where most people are half listening while scrolling their phones, his full presence can be a bit shocking. Even the most confident people fidget under that gaze. Why? Because he notices what others miss. The shift in tone, the flicker of doubt, the contradiction between your smile and your eyes. He catches those things without trying. The real twist, he's not judging you. He's just reading you, like a quiet detective who doesn't need to ask questions to get answers. And most people aren't used to being seen that clearly. It's one thing to be looked at, it's another to be understood. So if you've ever caught someone nervously laughing, stumbling over their words, or avoiding eye contact when they talk to you, it's not that you did anything wrong, it's probably just that you made them feel seen, really seen, and that's rare. Number 2, he doesn't brag. His results speak louder than their entire persona. There's something deeply unsettling about someone who achieves more than you, says less than you, and still manages to command more respect than you ever could by shouting. That's the Sigma male. While everyone else is busy curating their highlight reels, oversharing wins and name-dropping their way into relevance, he's working quietly, building, improving, evolving. No announcements, no parades, just results. He doesn't need a round of applause or 30 comments telling him he's killing it. He knows what he's doing, and he's not out here performing for approval. That alone can make people who depend on external validation squirm. Because when someone is truly grounded in their purpose, they make others question whether they've been chasing noise instead of meaning. He's the kind of guy who finishes a project before you even knew he started one. He levels up in silence. His progress doesn't come with a selfie. His moves don't come with a warning. He doesn't rub it in your face. He just lives it. And that drives attention seekers mad. The irony? His refusal to brag makes him 10 times more magnetic. People want to know what he's up to. They watch closely, trying to figure out how he does it. But he gives away nothing, because he's not addicted to being seen. He's addicted to growth. And growth for him is a personal thing, not a public performance. So when he shows up and the room shifts, it's not because he announced his greatness. It's because his actions left a trail others can't ignore. No hype, no speeches, just quiet excellence. And that shakes people who have confused attention for achievement. Number 3, He's fiercely private, and that makes him dangerous. With most people, you get a sense of their thoughts, feelings, or plans just by listening or watching. But the Sigma male, he's a locked vault. You don't know what's running through his mind because he chooses carefully what he shares, and often shares very little. That kind of privacy isn't just about being mysterious, it's about control. When people can't figure you out, their brains start spinning wild scenarios. What is he thinking? What's his next move? Are we friends or foes? That uncertainty makes people uneasy because humans naturally fear the unknown, and the Sigma male thrives in that space. His silence isn't empty, it's loaded. Every quiet moment is a question mark that keeps others on edge. This privacy makes him dangerous, not because he's out to harm, but because unpredictability is power. When you can't read someone's intentions, you lose the upper hand. You can't manipulate what you don't understand. You can't prepare for what you can't see coming. And that puts him several steps ahead of anyone who tries to control or corner him. He doesn't owe anyone an explanation. And that frustrates people who want to break him down or draw him out. His walls aren't weaknesses, they're his armor. And behind those walls, he's free to plan, reflect, and act without interference or judgment. So, while others might overshare, argue over every detail, or lay their emotions bare, the Sigma male keeps his cards close to his chest. That fierce privacy isn't a barrier, it's a weapon, and it makes him one of the most intimidating figures in any room, simply because no one truly knows what's next. Number 4, he's harder on himself than anyone else ever could be. The Sigma male's toughest critic isn't the world around him, it's himself. He sets a fierce, unyielding standard for what he expects from his own mind, body, and actions. There's no room for excuses, shortcuts, or blaming circumstances. If he stumbles, he takes full responsibility, then pushes himself harder to rise. That kind of relentless self-discipline is exhausting even to witness because he's so brutally honest with himself. He refuses to accept anything less from others. People who try to slide by with empty promises, weak explanations, or half-hearted efforts find out quickly he's not the guy to fool. He sees through all of it. That makes him impossible to BS, and that's a rare, uncomfortable truth for many. His bar is set not to impress others, but because he demands integrity from himself first. He knows the only person he can truly control is himself, so he invests all his energy there. And when he holds that kind of power over himself, he becomes a force no one else can shake easily. This self-accountability means he won't tolerate laziness, dishonesty, or weakness around him, not because he enjoys conflict, but because he respects strength and authenticity too much to settle for less. It's a tough standard, but one that earns respect from those who truly understand it. In a world full of people looking for shortcuts and easy outs, the Sigma male's harsh self-expectation is like a spotlight on everyone else's excuses. And that is why he's quietly intimidating, not because he demands from others, but because he demands from himself first, and that makes all the difference. Number 5, women find him desirable but can't figure out how to keep him. Here's the catch with Sigma males. They're like rare books in a sea of paperbacks. Women notice them right away. There's a magnetic pull that's hard to explain. It's not about flashy moves or loud declarations. It's something quieter, more intense, a mix of confidence, mystery, and realness. But once the initial spark is there, many quickly realize he's not the kind of guy you simply keep like a trophy or a checklist item. He doesn't crave attention or emotional hand-holding, no constant texting, no need for reassurance, and definitely no playing mind games. That's already a curveball for those used to relationships built on drama or control. More than that, he's not impressed by traditional power plays, dominance displays, jealousy trips, or attempts to micromanage. He sees right through that, and he doesn't tolerate it. When he loves, it's deep and genuine. But don't mistake his quiet intensity for ownership. He won't let anyone put him in a box, clip his wings, or dictate his choices. If you try, you'll quickly find the door is your exit. His independence isn't negotiable. It's part of what makes him who he is. That kind of freedom scares a lot of people, especially those with fragile egos who believe love means control. But for the Sigma male, love is respect, space, and trust. If you get that, you get him. If not, you're just another person trying to tame a force that refuses to be tamed. And honestly, that's what makes him so damn intimidating and so incredibly desirable. Number 6, people talk about him behind his back because they're too weak to face him. Let's be honest, most people don't know how to handle real strength. Not the loud show-off kind, but the quiet, grounded kind that doesn't flinch under pressure. And that's exactly what the Sigma male brings to the table. He doesn't beg for attention, doesn't try to impress anyone, and definitely doesn't pretend to be something he's not. That kind of authenticity rattles people who wear masks every day. But here's the thing, very few will say it to his face. Instead, they talk behind his back. They speculate about his silence. They roll their eyes when he walks away. They invent stories and label him cold, arrogant, or distant, when deep down they just can't understand him. Or worse, they do understand, and it scares them. They see someone who doesn't need their approval, someone who's not part of the herd, and that makes them feel small. So instead of facing that discomfort, they whisper, they gossip. They poke holes in his character, hoping they'll feel better about themselves. Spoiler alert, it never works. The Sigma male doesn't waste time defending himself. He knows that when people can't reach your level, they'll try to ruin your name. And the fact that they can't do it to his face, that says everything. So if people are talking when he's not around, it's not a flaw, it's a sign. A sign that his presence leaves an impression, that his strength stirs something in others, something they can't quite admit or understand. And that alone proves he's a force to be reckoned with. Number 7. He doesn't sugarcoat, and that terrifies the performers. Some people spend their lives perfecting the art of saying the right thing. They rehearse compliments, soften truths, and smile through fake conversations. Then there's the Sigma male. He doesn't play that game. He says what needs to be said, straight, honest, and without fluff. Not to be rude, not to shock, but because truth matters more to him than comfort. And that honesty, it rattles the people who live off performance. He's not the type to nod politely while someone talks nonsense. If your idea doesn't make sense, he'll tell you. If you're faking confidence, he'll see it. And if you're pretending to be someone you're not, don't expect applause. He's not here to stroke egos or entertain facades. People who depend on being charming or likable can't handle this. Around him, their carefully curated image starts to fall apart. They realize fast. There's no script that works on someone who doesn't care about appearances, and that's what makes them feel exposed. Because when he speaks, it's not just what he says, it's what he doesn't sugarcoat. There's no soft landing, no warm-up, just the truth. But here's the twist, he's not cruel. He doesn't use honesty as a weapon, he's just not going to pretend. That kind of clarity is rare, and it can feel sharp to those who aren't used to hearing it, especially if they're surrounded by people who only tell them what they want to hear. So yeah, he might make people uncomfortable, he might be called too blunt or intense, but that's only because he doesn't speak to please, he speaks to be real. And in a world full of filters and fakery, that kind of voice is louder than most. Number 8, he knows the things people don't want him to know. There's something strangely unsettling about talking to a Sigma male. You could be laughing, telling a harmless story, pretending everything's fine. And somehow he'll still catch that one thing you didn't say. He's not psychic, he's just insanely observant. He picks up on your energy, your tone, your hesitation, and even the way your eyes shift when certain things come up. You can be polished and smiling on the outside, but if something's off beneath the surface, trust me, he notices. The Sigma male doesn't need gossip or drama to figure people out. He doesn't need long conversations or deep confessions either. You could be around him for 5 minutes and already feel like he's cracked a part of you wide open. And the weird part, he probably has. He'll sit there quietly, nodding, maybe even sipping his coffee like nothing's happening, while internally he's already figured out that your confidence is a little shaky, or that your "I'm over it" story still has feelings all over it. You can try to fake it, but good luck. He doesn't fall for surface-level performances. It's not that he wants to expose you, he just can't unsee what's obvious to him. People who rely on charm or manipulation hate this. Masks don't work around Sigma males. Pretending, exaggerating, faking, it all kind of falls flat. And when you're someone who survives on illusions, being around someone who sees through it all is honestly terrifying. But here's the thing. He's not looking to embarrass or call you out. He's just quietly collecting data, connecting dots, and building a full picture of who you really are. And once you realize he's already 10 steps ahead in a conversation you thought you were leading, that's when the intimidation really kicks in. Number 9, he's calm in conflict, and that's more intimidating than anger. When things get heated, most people lose their cool. They shout, they storm off, they make a scene. Not the Sigma male, he's the opposite. Instead of adding fuel to the fire, he stays calm, steady, and collected like the eye of a storm. His voice drops, his words slow, and he doesn't rush to react. That stillness cuts through the noise, leaving everyone else scrambling to catch up. This kind of calm is more powerful than anger because it's unpredictable. People expect a blow-up or a meltdown in tense moments, but he gives them silence or a slow, measured response. It's like watching a chess master 3 moves ahead while everyone else is flipping the board. That kind of control makes others feel exposed, especially those who use loud emotions to push people around or take control. The Sigma male's calm isn't weakness or indifference. It's mastery of himself. He knows that losing his temper is losing the game, so instead he lets others burn out while he stays cool and focused. And in doing that, he flips the script on conflict. What's more intimidating than a storm? The quiet before it. When you know something powerful is coming but can't quite see it yet. That's the Sigma male in conflict, unshaken, unflappable, and impossible to rattle. People who rely on shouting or drama to win don't know how to deal with that kind of calm. And that's why, in moments of chaos, he holds all the power. Because true strength isn't about making noise, it's about owning your silence. Number 10. He's unavailable, not because he's busy, but because he protects his peace. Most people are constantly available. They answer every call, reply to every message, show up to every event, even if they'd rather be anywhere else. They do it out of pressure, habit, or fear of missing out. But the Sigma male, he's built different. If he doesn't feel like being somewhere, he's not going. If a conversation doesn't feed his mind or spirit, he's out. Not because he's swamped, not because he's being dramatic, but because his peace is a priority, and that's something most people don't understand. He doesn't hand out access just because someone asks for it. His time isn't on tap. His presence isn't guaranteed. And here's the part that confuses people the most. He doesn't explain his distance. He won't send a follow-up text. He won't give you a paragraph about why he pulled back. He'll just vanish from what no longer serves him. Quietly, calmly, without theatrics. This kind of selective presence drives people mad, especially those who are used to being chased, validated, or constantly entertained. They assume silence means something's wrong, but for him silence is the standard. It's how he resets. It's how he protects his mind from noise, distractions, and emotional freeloaders. His absence isn't a game, it's a boundary. And the truth is, people find that deeply intimidating. Because when someone doesn't need your approval, your company, or your chaos, you realize how little power you actually have over them. That's the danger of a Sigma male. He's not just unavailable, he's untouchable in the best way. And when he disappears, he doesn't leave an explanation. He leaves a silence so strong, people feel it like a presence. Number 11. He doesn't forgive repeated disrespect, and he doesn't broadcast his exit. With a Sigma male, there's no grand drama, no shouting matches, no final warnings plastered all over social media. When someone crosses his line once, maybe he gives a chance, but if it happens again, that person is gone. No explanations, no arguments, just a quiet disappearance. This kind of silent cut is way more powerful than any confrontation because it leaves people guessing. They don't get to defend themselves, argue their case, or even understand exactly what went wrong. They just notice the space where he used to be, and that absence hits harder than words ever could. He doesn't need to broadcast his exit because his presence spoke volumes in the first place. When he pulls away, it's like the air getting sucked out of a room, sudden and impossible to ignore, and the fact that it's quiet, that's the real sting. It makes people realize they lost something valuable without even hearing it directly from him. This approach isn't about being petty or spiteful. It's about protecting his peace and energy. He doesn't waste time on those who disrespect him repeatedly because his time is too precious and his patience has limits. No second chances for those who treat him like a doormat. People who thrive on confrontation or drama don't know how to handle this kind of calm finality. It leaves them frustrated and confused, which makes the Sigma male even more intimidating, because sometimes the loudest statement you can make is the one you never say at all. In final words, you don't need to raise your voice when your presence already speaks volumes. Being a Sigma male is not about trying to be intimidating. It's not about power games or demanding attention. It's about being grounded in who you are so deeply that you don't flinch when the world misunderstands you. The truth is, your calm unsettles people who rely on chaos. Your silence feels louder than noise to those who are always performing. And your independence shakes the ones who can't imagine walking alone. You're not here to fit in or to please. You're here to be solid, quiet, decisive, intact. The reason people often find you intimidating is because they can't figure you out. You don't play by their rules. You don't need their validation. And that kind of inner freedom, that's rare, that's unsettling, and that's exactly why you stand out without trying. People will talk, they will project, they will guess, but they'll never forget how you made them feel when they couldn't read you. Don't shrink to comfort others. Don't dilute your intensity to avoid being misunderstood. The world has enough noise, enough performers, enough people playing it safe. You are a Sigma male because you choose depth over drama, purpose over popularity, and self-respect over approval. That doesn't make you cold. It makes you powerful in a way most people can't explain. So keep moving in silence. Let your actions speak, and never apologize for the weight you carry, because the ones who truly get it, they won't feel intimidated. They'll feel inspired. Thank you for watching, gents, and God bless you.